Well, hello, boys and girls. It's your favourite Grumpy Granny from Groger's Patch, and I am back once again to teach you a little something about eBay. Today I'm going to teach you how to set up your returns policies. Now, setting up returns policies is very important because it creates customer satisfaction. They will know exactly where you stand when it comes to whether they can return an item. They may want to return something because it doesn't fit or it's not quite right. And if you've got your policies in place, they'll know exactly where you stand and what to do. Make sure you stay and watch until the very end, and you might find a little surprise. So, without any further ado, yes, let's get into it. Well, boys and girls, here we are inside the computer again. Now, the first thing I want to just run past you is what eBay itself actually says about doing returns, because there's a couple of little important points to make. First off, they say that making returns easy and simple for your buyers gives your customers great customer service. And that is very true. Now, why would someone want to return something that you've sold? Well, maybe it's faulty, maybe it's the wrong size, or simply not what they expected. If you either go to the seller centre of eBay, or if you the easiest thing to do is just Google eBay seller returns, and you'll see the link to this page, and you can go in there and have a little look at this yourself. I won't read it all. There's a couple of things you need to consider. And one is this little part here where it says, it's important you make all policy adjustments through business policies in order to qualify for seller protections against damaged returns. So that's very important. So if you're not actually setting up your returns through your business policies, you may not be covered for seller protections. So you really do need to stop what you're doing and go and make those return policies. They're not all that hard and they don't take a long time. The other thing that you need to consider is what sort of return policy you want to have. Now, you can have more than one type and more than one policy and set the different policies for the different things that you sell. But you can have two different types of returns. You can have what they call buyer-funded returns or seller-funded returns, which we call free returns. So let's go and have a look at where we make our policies. Of course, we're going to go to our seller hub, which is where we always start, and we're going to go again up to our account settings, and then we're going to pop in here and go to our business policies right here. And here we can see all the business policies, but we don't want to be worried about all those postage policies getting in the way. So we're just going to click on return, and there we go. Now, I did show you in my postage policy why I had these weird ones in here, and I have left them there just for now because I wanted to set up the new returns policy, and then I'll transfer most of those over to them. So we're going to go here, create a policy, and we're going to click on return, and it's going to bring this little box up here. You can give your policy a name, and that's very important so that you put the right return policy on the right listing. So I'm just going to move my microphone a little bit further out of the way so that I can actually type. We're going to put in here, and the standard sort of policy that most people will do is a 30-day return policy. So I'm just going to type that in as the title. Then we have a description. Now, this is up to you. You don't have to fill this in, and that's fine if you don't want to. However, if you think that there is a slight chance that in the future down the track, you're going to either employ or have a friend or a relative help you with your reselling business, I always think it's a good idea to pop something in there so that you will not have to sit there and explain to them all about the returns policy because they'll be able to read it for themselves. So there you go. So I'll just type something in there and I'll be back in a sec. I'm back again now that I've done a little bit of typing. Just save you hanging around while I typed all that in. So as you can see, I have put the little description in here and it says free returns accepted within 30 days. And it explains that. So what this means is because I offer free returns, I am going to give my buyers a full refund of the purchase price and the postage if the item is faulty or not as described. However, I'm only going to refund the purchase price and not the postage if the return is because it didn't fit or because the buyer changed their mind and decided they didn't want it anymore, which is what we call buyer's remorse. So that's just a little something that will help someone else if they happen to come across this. Now you also see there's a little note here and it says, accepting returns helps listings qualify for top rated seller benefits. So there you go, boys and girls. And what that means is if you do offer free returns, that's exactly what it will do. It will help you qualify for top rated seller status and the benefits that come with that. There's two lots of returns. There are domestic returns and international returns. So here we go. We're going to go to domestic returns and we're going to say we accept domestic returns. And then it says to you, allow returns for items purchased domestically, allowed within 30 days. And then it says return postage paid by buyer or free for buyer, you pay, which is what I'm going to select. Because in essence, that will give me the ability to refund the buyer if it's for, as I said, a faulty item or it's an item not as described. But if the buyer just changes their mind or decides it didn't fit because they didn't read the measurements properly in your listing, then you only have to refund the purchase price and not the original postage price. You still pay for the postage for them to return it, but you don't have to refund the original postage cost, which really does help. Now, I just need to shift myself again here. Now, for our international returns, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to say we're going to accept returns within 30 days, but that the buyer has to pay. And there we have it. That's all there is to it. Once we click this little save button here, now you'll see here, we have our 30-day return policy. Now you can also do 60-day free return. Some people do, some people don't. Look, most people will, if they're going to return it, will return it fairly soon after they get it. So it's highly unlikely at the end of 60 days that someone is still wanting to return something, unless they're a bit shady in my account. Again, that's up to you whether you do set up a 60-day free return policy. I have one set up and there may be the odd thing that I attach it to, but generally I do a 30-day return. The other thing you can do is have a no returns policy. So let's go and have a look at that. Pretty simple. This is my no returns policy, and this is for when I do what I call a bulk mystery parcel. So it'll be a parcel which has got a whole heap of stuff in it in an extra large postage box, and it'll be a whole heap of different things, and I'm selling that as is. Well, boys and girls, I hope you're feeling more confident about making your returns policies now. And I would expect that most of you will go and do it straight away. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing right now and go and fix up those return policies before you send out any more parcels or list any more items on eBay. Off you go now, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, boys and girls. I'm going to There is no reason why you can't still follow. And although my... The first thing you're going to do... Stop. When you go into your postage policies, you're probably going to find... Or because each time you did postage, and all these little postage... When you first go in here, you're going to notice that there are a whole heap of all different weird looking policies. And that's that will have occurred for oh, shit.
You guys are ancient compared to me.
How old are you, John?
Oh, please.
I'm 35.
Yeah, well, I'm
You're
only
my
20.
son's age. Yeah, you're my son's age.
I think you're about the same age as one of the Octo's tentacles.
What? Jeez. How many do you think octopuses have? Great. I don't know if you get mad at
in the
Wayno.
United States, it still came out the same way. Okay.
I
This
know where
is
to
why
go.
we have StreamYard. We can record these moments and put them and
That's
repurpose
right.
it to Kingdom Come.
It's not like Wayno I have to get mad at, not a grumpy granny.
Oh, that was
Because I
golden.
actually felt like I've always got it in my head when I go to say it, because every time I try to type it, it's just automatic, like, because there's only one letter difference, and I go to type it the wrong way. Yeah. Whoops.